Another year, another time to bring up the Super League. The Super League. Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard the story plenty of times before that the top clubs in Europe want to create what they call a Super League of concluding of the best teams from the best leagues for the revenue, you know, to get the maximum revenue. And I will say this right now. I'm gonna say this right now. Obviously, this news came out back from Sky Sports, but I'm gonna say this news right now. In my lifetime, we're gonna see a Super League. Like in my lifetime, unless I die tomorrow, that would be quite funny. But like in my lifetime, we're gonna see a Super League, and I'm pretty certain of that. Now I don't know if it's gonna be in the next 2, 3, 4 years. I can definitely see with, you know, COVID hindering and ruining some of the financial aspects of some major clubs, you know, that they would now especially push for a Super League where, you know, if you have the best teams in one league competing for one league, then everyone would have their eyes on that. You know, people would watch that, you know, and that would obviously increase the revenues. My issue with that is for the fans. That's the big aspect. Now, you know, say you support Bayern Munich, right? And you have, you know, in the Super League, you have Madrid, Liverpool, Juventus, all right? Yeah, just examples, of course. Obviously, there'd be a lot more teams, but just an example, right? Imagine having to fly one Saturday to Juventus, to Turin, then having to fly the next Saturday to Liverpool, then having to fly the next week, you know, to Madrid, and it's like, bro, you know, at one point, things are just not sustainable anymore. Now, football has become more and more expensive. Let's not kid ourselves. Football has become tremendously more expensive than it used to be in the past. I got that on like a discount almost, you know, to like a 10% discount. I think it was a 15% discount. It was still expensive. And that's not a critique necessarily at... It is a critique at the club and whatnot. Now they've got the authentic kits as well, which are like another £50. And it's like, well, it's like another 50, whichever your currency is, I guess I should say. And at this point, it's just like, yeah, all right, you're actually milking the fans. Like, you look at some of our treble shirts, is why I still haven't gotten one. You know, the one with like the patch and whatnot, that will cost you $150. It's like, bro, no, not $150, like $140, $130. Like it's like, bro, football is becoming more and more expensive, and us as fans, you know, in the past, for me, especially for me, you know, in the past I used to get like 3 shirts each year, home, away, and then like a T-shirt, you know, with the club or something. You know, I'll be honest, I haven't really gotten a normal shirt, like just a jersey. I think in 3 years. What did I say? 2 years, 3 years? Like my last one has been quite a long time away. It's been quite a long time since I've gotten one. It's just because football is becoming that much more expensive that at this point you just gotta worry that, like, you know, the price is only gonna go up. You know, as the revenue, you know, and as the contracts get bigger and better, and the player, they cost more and more. There is just an upward trend, and the everyday person isn't going to be able to afford football that much anymore. You know, the whole thing that the Bundesliga prides itself on is the fans and the cheap ticketing, which means that everyone that wants to go to a game can go to a game. You know, 20 is plenty is always the talk, and that is very much true. If you really want to get a ticket for 20 quid, 20 euros, you can get that. You know, if you want to go watch Bayern, you can get that. You know, even on the day outside the stadium, you can get. I mean, granted, those are the times where tickets are relatively expensive, but you left it to the last day, and even then it's like £100. Well, €100. I keep saying pounds. €100. So you know, that's generally what I tend to pay when I do it on the very last day. But like, just from that perspective, you have to wonder, like, yeah, you know, when you take everything into consideration, the football in Germany is very, very cheap. The prices are very, very cheap. The food is expensive. Let's not kid ourselves. The food is expensive. But like everything else, to get into the stadium, to watch the team, is relatively cheap. So you just gotta think, if a Super League happened, it's gonna divide a lot of fans. I mean, fans already hate it. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Fans already hate the idea because, you know, it just ruins it all. Like, it just ruins the whole concept of the Champions League, of the National League, you know, just ruins it all. But from a bigger perspective, of a perspective that I don't think many people have yet come to realize, is that you're going to be flying week in, week out. Like, in the Champions League, you can kind of understand it because, like, you know, it's, you fly once and then you go back home. You know, you don't play Champions League every weekend. But, like, in this case, it's just like, all right, so I'm going to have to fly to this country. I'm going to have to fly to this country. I'm going to have to fly to this country, all in the span of a relatively short time. Like that's not sustainable, all right? That is not sustainable. And it's not necessarily that this is a new thing. You know, football has gotten more expensive just recently. It is a thing that has been going on for years and years. So from that perspective, you know, again, I do think a Super League will happen, but it will be met with resistance. And that's the key part. It won't be smooth sailing. There will be resistance for it. But at the end of the day, I do think in my lifetime, there will be a Super League. And I think it's going to happen sooner than later. I think it's going to happen sooner than most people expect. Just so from that perspective, I do want to say, we'll see. We will see, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I will see all of you in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out. And as always,